Welcome to Perspective Shifts with SeanathonJoiclaire. Joiclaire. And get your coffee, get your tea. I have my matcha, my vanilla caramel matcha. It's good, y'all. And come on and let's have this conversation and let's have this talk about love. I thought this would be an interesting conversation for episode 3 because it's something that I've really been thinking about. I was thinking about the song Teach Me How to Love by Music Soul Child. And the first thought that I came into my mind is I don't want to teach someone how to love me, because teaching someone is training someone to do exactly what you want them to do in the scopes of these are the rules around it. And if you don't do as I say, then I get to punish you based upon how you fulfilled or didn't fulfill that particular aspect. We about to get real deep into it. Let me take a sip of my matcha. And as I was expanding on it, I thought to myself, do people believe that God teaches us how to love Him, or is that their perception in their mind to where they believe they have to come to God perfectly or trained or disciplined in order to not be reprimanded based upon the rules that He has set? But yet in the Bible it says, come as you are. And most time, God finds the people that need the love the most in their darkest hour. We getting deep into it all the way at the beginning. We're not even 2 minutes in. When I tell you the thoughts of this made me ask myself the question, how do I want to be loved? I wanted to come to them like a first or second nature. And the only way they can do that is because they love themselves wholeheartedly and they understand themselves in and out to be able to see the aspects that I need extra love in or love in general. I prefer for them it to be a natural thing than it to be a thing that is taught. Because when it's just like you can train a dog to catch a ball. You could train a dog to run or to hunt. And I don't want to feel like I'm training or teaching someone how to love me. I feel like I'm always going to be a teacher and they are going to be a student. They will never be able to graduate as a teacher in any type of aspect of loving me. Is because I am teaching them the ways to my heart. Because on social media, a lot of people like to say, show someone how to love you, or don't give everyone the details of how to get you or to obtain your heart. And that's just like teaching them. But if you want it to be a nature that is normal to them, a first or second nature, then they're going to know how to love you, even in aspects that you can't even explain or think that you need love in. This topic is getting deep and my mouth is going really fast about the thoughts that I'm just having in my mind. And that's how my mind was going when I was thinking about it. And I was just sitting and looking out the window and understanding the aspects of the world that everyone feels like they need to be taught how to love. That is why some people don't know how to love themselves, because there's no one to teach them how to love themselves. They can teach you how they see love for them or how they deem love should be fit, but no one can teach you the love that you need or the love that you want from you. So let's get into it. This matcha, so good. Ooh, that is so good. And I thought that was like really interesting because a lot of people can show you the ways to their love, but they can't show you their heart. And in order to like really see someone's heart, you need to understand how they love themselves out loud. It will show you how soft or how hard or how they learn to love themselves based on how other people have displayed love. And within that process of it all, it shows you the directions to the real pieces of you. And when you see the real pieces of you, you understand. Oh, I forgot my bracelet, y'all. Wait a minute. So I thought that was like really interesting overall. Y'all, I got it. And I thought that was really interesting overall that love is something that people believe need to be taught to them, but yet they don't feel it. And when I say they don't feel it, when you teach someone something, you're basically giving them instructions. They can learn the instructions, they can learn the directions back to front, but how do they feel it? Most times you don't feel things that you're taught until you go through the motions of life or the situation and you're like, I don't like this. Or, it's okay. It's not really fulfilling to me. But how can I make it my own within what I learned within it? And making it your own, it becomes friction because you understand the rules and the dynamics of it, and you feel like you can venture from it or even create something different within it because you understand, if I do this, I won't be loved. If I do this, I won't be accepted. If I do this, if I do that. Prime example is, say for instance, somebody want to do something, and the first thing somebody say is, oh, they got somebody that created that already. And you're like, you know what? I don't want to do it. But what if your creation allow you to expand on something that's already created, not only to make it your own, to be beneficial to somebody else? You never know what someone else is looking for and seeking for in certain situations in order to benefit from it. Prime example. Say for instance, you see a stop sign. How many stop signs has been made over the decade? Nobody will never know. But we know every time they replace it, it's something different about the details that allows the driver to benefit from it. First, they might have stop on there. Next time you see it, it's stop with the reflectors on it. Next time you may see it, it's stop with the reflectors with the reflecting line on it so you don't miss it. See how it's always evolving? If you're not a part of the evolving process on what you want to create, the world will always be missing something. See? And when it comes to love and soulmates, it's kind of like, how much are you willing to evolve in order to experience the fullness of it in your lifetime? And it make me think about how some people complain about love and what they got out of love. And my question to myself for them is, did you operate out of what you was taught about love? Or did you operate based upon how you know love for yourself and your own understanding of, I know how I love myself and I know how I love others based upon how I love myself. You can't give anybody more that you haven't given yourself already. It's going to be a void. It's not going to feel authentic because you are performing different aspects of love that you feel like they may need or they may benefit from, but yet you're not giving it to yourself. And then that's when you're going to feel like you're missing something because you're giving something to someone else that you wish that someone can give you, but really you need to give it to yourself. And it made me think about how long I've been single. I've been single for so long. Gosh. I've been single for so long. But I learned myself in the process of my singleness. And I learned that I was being spared from a lot of things because a lot of people wait. The question I would always get, no matter if I was dating, talking to them, it was nothing serious, is, do you see yourself being with them for the rest of your life? And my answer will always be no. I was like, it's so much more out there. It's so much more life I need to live. I just don't know. And when I sat down with that answer in the years when I was, talking to people, it made me think about, why did I really say no? That was my excuse for saying no. But what was the meaning behind that no? And I sat with it. It's because I felt like they was performing the love that I needed based on how I taught them to love me, but I wasn't getting the authenticity of the love I knew that they can share with me or give me. But I also understood how they love themselves and didn't show up for themselves the way that I wanted to show up for me, whether I was doing it or wasn't doing it or working on it. I understood their love wasn't going to evolve with me, but allow me to be stagnant, because their love for themselves wasn't growing, but inflicting them to not move forward in their goals and dreams, or point fingers and blames at other people and other things why they couldn't improve. And I sat with it a little bit more. I said, come on, let's see how deep I can go with this no. And eventually, time showed me that they wasn't the one. But it also allowed me to expand upon, how was I showing them love? And they will benefit off my love more than I can benefit off of theirs. And I was like, I was cooking all these extravagant meals, and I was like making menus. I was doing 9. Like, when I'm with somebody, I'm with them. But it was like they wasn't appreciate the love that I was showing, because they didn't give it to themselves to value it enough to understand what I am coming forth with. And then I also understood that I was holding back a lot of my love, because I felt like I was a victim of my own childhood and narrative, based upon how I was raised and how I was taught to direct myself within love and in dynamics. I was also protecting myself from it. And I was like, I have to take accountability, as well as I noticed what they showed me and different things like that. I understand that I was a part of the process too. And in order to understand how I was loving them and loving myself, I get to the core meaning of love overall. And it allowed me to work on me loving me in my wholeness and in my fullness. And it allowed me to show up for myself differently, to try to get a different narrative of love. And once I realized that, I understand also how a lot of people was attached to the love that I was giving, but not me as a person giving it. And it was like, it was a lot of dynamics regarding it, but I was willing to go deep within myself to get it all out, because I'm like, if I feel it, maybe someone else is thinking it, and no one to bounce those ideas off of, to see if they're right, to wrong, to expand upon, or just leave it alone. And I was like, I am going to make a podcast episode on it, so I can spew my experience and my thoughts and my opinions on it, because maybe someone out there needs it, or looking for it, or maybe not even looking for it or even thought about it, but now they can direct their love and do something different within it. Because when it comes to loving God, people want to show up perfectly for him, even though he is within us and he see everything. And when I did my hair, I was like, ooh, somebody gotta see me. Somebody gotta see me. And I thought about it. When I'm done up, I feel like I need to be seen. But when my hair is getting greasy and my nails is growing out, I feel like I don't need to be seen, because I'm not perfect enough. Or If someone say, "Oh, you're beautiful," and the first thing someone say is, "Oh, my nails, they're growing out," or, "Oh, I don't even have my eyelashes on," you don't feel perfect enough to receive the love that they are giving you, because you're not showing up what you feel like is your authenticity. But what if I say that's your mask trying to get all of the glory that your authentic self is needing? And it's kind of like we're afraid of those moments where we're not our best. And I'm like, what if that's when people love you the most, when you're not your best, but they know who? It brings me to this. They always say you can have a coca stack on, and a man will understand the shape, your shape, how you look, and da 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 da. And that's basically a man understanding the potential of what is there versus what you're trying to hide, or you're trying to make yourself feel confined and constricted in a way of, if they can't see me, they won't know what's there. But imagination and imagery and certain things is your greatest asset. Once you understand, it doesn't rely on the perfectness, but it relies on the mold of what you can make it be based upon how you see fit, but also allowing that person, that place, or thing to be their authentic self, to show you who they are in the molding process. And I'm not saying you got to mold somebody to love you and do all these things. No. That person or that place or thing will mold themselves. But the love that you give them can be the love that they see. It can be a reflection, or it can be a blinder, or it also can be a reason for their momentum. Because people who allow themselves to be blinded by love is trying to cover their eyes but feel. But some people don't need to see it, but they need to feel it. And some people need to hear it before they can see it. Let's not go into it. But also, when someone blinds you from love, they're blinding your eyes, they're blinding your ears, they're blinding your mind. They want to be the director of it all and have you move like a puppet. And that type of love can essentially be the devil's advocate, the devil's playground. Because if anyone is trying, let me slow it down. Hold up. There was a perspective shift, a short, like little TikTok perspective shift that I made. And it goes, how did I say it? I was like, a person with potential is an enemy to the devil because he has no destiny to grow. It was something like that. People target what they see potential in because they understand they don't have the direction to grow from or in different situations. They have to constantly be weights on your ankles so you don't move forward. And you have to believe it by thinking it in your mind. Because when somebody put weights on your ankle and say, "Oh, you can't do this and you can't do that," you can't physically see the shackles, but your mind will make it seem like there's shackles there and you're afraid to move forward. Everything is a perception of the mind. And I think that's interesting. So when someone is blinding you from love, they are essentially taking every aspect of you and holding it captive, so you don't understand the true definition of it. That is what I'm trying to get to. And I think that's like really, really interesting because love is layered. And when you understand love is layered, you can understand which layer or what type of layering of love you want. and you see fit for you, or you can pick and choose from. The world is your oyster. You just have to believe it. Um, so yeah, it just came from one thought of listening to Teach Me How to Love by Music Soul Child and rejecting that narrative in my life. And I just want to be loved authentically. I want it to come to them like a first or a second nature, to where they don't have to think about it. They just show up. I don't want to have to teach someone how to get to my heart, and then they get there and they fall short or they fail. Is because I gave them a lesson plan and they still didn't understand the instructions or the rules that constantly change, or I didn't give them all the directions and they trying to make it up as they go, and I'm not happy with what they do. And it's essentially, that's kind of like control. But when it comes like a second nature, it's kind of like you're showing up in ways I didn't think I needed someone to show up in. Or you're showing up in ways that I wish someone can show up in. And I appreciate you doing it without me having to ask, without me having to test you, and without me having to give you lessons and teaching you, and me constantly having to be the teacher and you're the student, and we never can be equals because I put you in a dynamic where you constantly have to grow and learn instead of us growing and learning together. That is the difference. And yeah, sometimes, you have to be the student and the teacher, but at the same time, two teachers sharpening each other like iron. I forgot the biblical verse, but I prefer somebody to sharpen me instead of someone trying to teach me how to sharpen their sword, because they believe that I will fall short of loving them because they don't even know how, or maybe they do know how to love themselves and they just enjoy the control of it all. I don't want that. I don't. If I'm going to have to spend the rest of my life with you, it better come natural, honey. It better come natural. And I'm going to know if it come natural or not based upon how they show up for me. And anyone can play the role and do these, but time reveals the details of someone's heart and I can say the perspective. It's not the perspective, but the motivation of the mind. And I have to pay attention to all those things to understand how you are truly loving me and what you are wanting to get out of it. And a lot of people will don't pay attention to the details. And then I'm going to give y'all a prime example, honey. On social media, people was like, I just didn't see the red flags. They saw the red flags, but they didn't want to address the details because they felt like the details can be covered by the bigger picture if they just keep going. But what if I tell you that the details make the bigger picture if you pay attention to what is in front of you? I want you to think about it. If you're a person that look at a picture and you talk about the details, like, oh, this line is not perfect. Oh, this is curved. This color is, I wonder if this was their starting point. I wonder if it's because not only do you understand the details, take away or add to the bigger picture, you will understand the dynamic of relationships and what they are doing. Nobody is perfect. But if you understand the imperfectness of, I'm showing up as my authentic self, but I may not do little things that you may like, and that's 100% okay. But this is authentically me. Either you're gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. And some people take those little details that other people depict as beauty because they understand the love of the portrait and the intentions behind it, versus someone that's trying to create a narrative for you and the bigger picture, and you like, I don't like that detail at all. If that's supposed to be a circle, why are they putting a square right there? If that's supposed to be this, why is they doing this and trying to manipulate me and tell me it's something different than what they put there? When someone play with your mind, it'll change your perspective on the bigger picture. And then when you get in front of the bigger picture, you'll realize every manipulation behind the small details that you can now point out. And you'll feel naive, you'll feel stupid, you'll feel dumb, and you'll be like, I remember when they drew this square and they told me this, and this, and that. I remember when this color was supposed to be blue, but they did it orange because they said this, and this, and that. And you'll think about every intention behind the small details and understand the bigger picture wasn't worth it because it came out like crap. You got the illusion of it's gonna look like this, and got the reality of this is what the hell it look like. And now you have to get out of it. But in order to get out of it, you have to address every small detail that made you stay, every small detail that played on your intelligence and your heart. It just, to get out of it is to recognize everything that went wrong so you don't follow that path again. Say, for instance, you're driving on a road and you tell yourself, I'm going to go this way. That way had bumps, potholes, no gas station, had a gas station every 5 miles. It was this and that. You like, you know what? I should have stayed on the main road. Let me go back. And you see that road come up again, further down. Something looks similar to it. The first thing you're going to tell yourself is, I remember what happened the last time. I'm not doing it. You have to take value in the lesson so you don't repeat it again with new faces and new spaces. And you have to understand it. That's just like a child learning something in school. If they don't understand the details of the 3rd grade, they will not understand the details of the 5th grade. Everything is a build up and a progress of the next. And it made me think. Now, all this was all surrounding the love topic that I had. And I was just like, I'm really going deep. And that whole perspective really blew my mind, that my love in a relationship would not look like someone else's. And I can't base my experience, what I want out of love, based on someone else's relationship warning signs. I can understand what to look for, but I can't say I don't want a relationship because Cynthia and let me see another name, Poo Poo Brain over here wasn't working out, and they did this and that. I'm not gonna do it because they failed at it. No, it don't work like that. It's understanding how they was loving each other and they loved themselves throughout the process. Because some people make love out of money, and they are like, oh, I'm gonna ask for this. I'm gonna ask. Do what you see fit, but don't try to get more out of something that you understand what the core dynamic is. I'm gonna just say it like that, because when it comes natural, a person leads, person submits, and a man can submit just like a woman submits. Come on now, and I ain't gonna get into that right now, but it's just like understanding the dynamics of nothing is a gender role until you understand what is being assigned to who and why. I'm not saying, oh, women should pay all the bills and do all this. No. It's understanding the dynamics within it. Am I asking you to be a provider? Or are you naturally a provider and want to provide and want to do these things and want to do this and want to do that? Are you doing it because you love me? Or are you doing it to hold me? That's the difference. I want someone to naturally be in those loving characteristics and dynamics without trying to dangle it over my head and make me chase after it. See what I'm saying? Because naturally, people expect for a woman to cook, take care of the kids, and do this and do that. And you naturally want a man to do that, but some men don't naturally want to provide. Some men want to be a stay-at-home dad. Some men want to do 50-50. Some men want to do this and that. You got to understand what they are naturally good at and what they can naturally provide versus what you want to be assigned to them. Because I must admit, I saw this one couple on TikTok, and the guy is a stay-at-home dad. He take care of the household. He makes sure the bills are paid, but the woman works. They say it worked for them, cool. But when I looked at him, I understand it seemed like that role came to him naturally. And some people will say he is feminine for that. But how? When he know what he's good at. I'm gonna say this, every lion is not a leader. And every leader understands that they are not, I wouldn't even say submissive in a way. Let me rephrase this. Every lion is not a leader. And every alpha is not a beta. You have to understand the dynamics of, you can see a group of male lions in one lead. The other one at the back. He understands he good at the back. He got the back end. He can catch everything that's coming. But the leader understands that I have the direction to do this and that. The Sigmas understand. You understand? It's just like, you have to see where they are on the food chain. I'm going to just say it like that. You got to, let me bring it to this. This one girl, I like watching her content. She gives me 60s, 70s vibes. Oh, I wish I knew her username on TikTok. But she wants that traditional type of dynamic in relationship. And it's refreshing to me because she don't want anything like really spectacular. She can tell you the details of what she wants. And I find that intriguing because some people want that over the top extravagant, but she like, nah, I don't want that. And if someone of extravagance was to come to her, she would reject it because it's not that 60s, 70s type love story that she's looking for. It will be a mismatch. And I don't know where I was going with this, child. Honey, I lost my train of thoughts. But it's just like, you got to understand what you want out of love. And when you understand what you want, that's what you can handle. And you got to handle the growth and the expansion of it. You can say, make a Pinterest board and be like, I want this type of love. I want that. I want this. But once you in it and you're watering it, it's going to grow into something better or something worse. That is what I'm trying to get to. You have to expect the details of the journey to be unknown. Just know you'll get to the goal. Just know you'll get there. You just can't dictate the path. But if you have the foundation, you will love the journey there. That is what I'm trying to get at. But I thought that was interesting. I did want to make a quick video. I wanted to do episode 3. I think I did it justice. I think I ate that up. And I hope y'all enjoyed Perspective Shifts with SeanathonJoiclaire in my conversations over coffee, even though I have matcha right now. And yeah, be sure to watch episode 1 and 2. They're really good. Episode 1 is imposter syndrome. And it's kind of like you're doing something, but yet you feel like you're not doing it because you're not getting paid for it. And trying to see if you are imposter of your own journey is really good. Episode 2 is in order to change the world, first you have to change your lineage. And that's basically taking accountability of what is coming from you in order to change those small details to make a big impact on the world. So watch those 2 episodes if you're interested in it. But yes, that is a perspective to shift your reality and something to really be thought about. So think about it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because I want to hear y'all thoughts of everything that I just spewed out there about love. So think about it, and there you go.